Alternative view uh, of idealism uh, can be this perfect form of we might also argue that this perfect form of our existing world doesn't uh, exist actually, or even if it does exist, it's a far idea we are not interested in. Rather, we are um, interested in the uh, development and process of our world. Uh, and as an idealist, basically, um, you might argue that this process is actually just as a result of the process of development of the systems of ideas, which is evolving to a more complex or better version of the previous system of ideas. And here, system of ideas is again just like not just one single idea, but rather a system of ideas which are describing every aspect of the world, every process, every value, every rule, every uh, structure of the world. So this view is called dialectic idealism. Um, and again, the first claim is this world is shaped by the system of the ideas of a superior mind. That superior mind might be collective intelligence of everyone in the world or every member of a society. And the system of ideas is constantly evolving. How is it evolving? This is how it is described by Hegel. Again, this is a summary, a very, very brief summary. So first you have the existing system of ideas, which is called thesis. But this system of ideas has contradictions in itself. Well, for example, you might say, okay, in Greece, the freedom is a value which is out of which, or United States, for example, foundation, freedom and equality of the human beings is a value which is actually part of out of which actually the system is created. But in the same time, the existing system is based on the view that humans should be allowed to own slaves, and actually ownership of slavery is a form is one of the freedoms people should have. But of course, if people are able to own slaves, in that case, the freedom of the people they own are actually restricted. So, just like that, well, in an economic system, for example, you might have an economic system where basically the living standards of the people, well, is expected to improve in general. The living standards, average living standards of the society is expected to improve, while, for example, the overall production level increases. But at the same time, the existing inequality might actually create more unhappy and, in some cases, even maybe poorer people, or at least people who might actually not benefit from this increase in the production level of the average production level, or at least, I mean, the harm they got as a result of, I mean, isolation from the society because of their low income level, might offset the benefit they got, maybe as a result of slight increase in their living standard. So, if certain views, certain parts of the system that is imagined contradicts with other parts of the system, or the maybe core values of the system out of which those ideas are, those different parts of the system as an idea has developed. In that case, these contradictions, especially when they are sufficiently significant, in time make people realize them. People realize those contradictions, and as they realize those contradictions, they kind of create a new system of ideas. They imagine a new system of ideas, which is just based on, I mean, kind of, well, the bad aspects, the bad points of the existing system. So, considering the bad aspects, bad points of the system, people create an alternative version of the system, which might be, in many ways, it might be opposing the new system of ideas, might be opposing the old system. It's called antithesis, this alternative system of ideas. In time, people actually take the relatively good aspects of both views, both theses existing, the idea system behind the existing system, and the idea system which is opposing the existing system, antithesis, and they create a new system of ideas which is called synthesis. So in a way, good aspects of the existing system continue. They are taken by the new system, but the system itself actually develops, evolves, and also change certain part of its aspects, and certain aspects of the system also transform. For example, even if family exists in different social systems as an ideal, the relations in the family and the way we define family as a subsystem might change. For example, previously the family might be more authoritarian. Now the family might be more like, I mean, the father now is the figure might not be, or even father mother figures together might not be the only ones making decisions, and basically, I mean, children might be part of making decisions, or children might be given more autonomy, basically. So in a way, I mean, certain elements get into the new systems, but they are different. I mean, they are not getting in the exact same form to the new system. And this new system is formed, the new thesis, and again, against this new thesis, a new antithesis is formed, and then this new thesis and new antithesis turn into new synthesis. So antithesis, in a way, I mean, formed as a reaction of the existing contradictions in existing system, and because it is a reaction, it is still, I mean, while certain contradictions lead to people to defend a completely new system, where, I mean, those contradictions are either cured or at least dealt, at least managed better compared with the existing system. Those contradictions might not exist in the antithesis, or at this time they might not exist as severe as the thesis. But in other aspects, antithesis might also, it might lack basically certain good elements of the thesis, because it's just a reaction, basically. So this initial reaction is considered as as not as a good alternative of the thesis. Actual good alternative is created by, let's say, bringing or taking good aspects or of the thesis and antithesis, or let me say this actual alternative is created by the clash of these two idea systems, and out of this clash of idea system, people will begin to see, in general, which elements to take from both of these systems, and how to create a new, better imagination of the existing world. Again, here, the way overall people imagine the world as the best potential world, or potential world, potential society, potential elements in the society should exist, is what creates the existing world. Of course, in this case, people might know that existing views, existing the way they imagine the existing world is not perfect. For example, they might not like slavery, or they might not like the fact that people eat animals, but they might also know that the existing system of ideas is not easily replaceable. So if you just take the different elements of the system, even in the form of ideas, even if in the form of design, for example, of something, is complex. Even if a bad element exists, it's not easy to take this bad element out and let the rest of the system function as it was functioning before. This taking this bad element out might just create unexpected consequences, and certain aspects of the system might also not be anymore retainable. For example, without philosophy, without slavery, maybe in the Greece, the idea of freedom, the democracy could not function. Maybe people won't have time to get democratic elections. And people might easily think that, this existing of slavery is a trade-off for the better qualities, better aspects of the civilization, basically. And you cannot just take slavery out of from the existing system of ideas, imagination of existing system. Basically, you need to design a completely new system, because that element might be just supporting other aspects of the system of ideas. So designing a new system of ideas is a system of ideas that will support a new social system or new world is not easy. And it takes time, and it should also be done in a way collectively, not by a single person, although a single person might be effective in making the rest of the world take over certain ideas, or encourage the people to construct or just take over a new system of ideas instead of the old one, basically. Well, Marx argues that famously Marx and Engels claim that the dialectics in Hegel is revolutionary, but it is actually standing on its head. So it describes the system perfectly, but it describes it in a reverse way. And reverse way means actually, Hegel has taken ideas as his focus. If you take the same system and apply it to the material world, you got a proper description of how material system evolves, how material system develop, basically. So the basic principles, by doing this themselves, or at least attempting to do this themselves, the Marx and Engels have created dialectical or dialectic materialism. I will talk more on this in the next parts.